Good morning, dear friends. Good morning to everyone. Anna Deeter is here. Freedom Friday is on. I am Anna Deeter, your host and a passionate pioneer of a brand new industry on this planet. The industry
Good morning,
is called
dear
speech
friends.
education.
Good morning
Turn
to
off the
everyone.
sound
Anna
on
Deeter
YouTube, and then I can continue. Okay, so here we are. I am here every Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's New York time, United States of America. So I am here donating my time, volunteering to give you my time to answer any question you, as a person who stutters or a person who deals with those who stutter, may still have. And I know that a lot of people have questions. It is normal to have questions about things that we have to deal in our life, but we do not know how to deal with this problem. So in today's world, we do have a lot of questions. So I am looking at the YouTube channel and I don't see anyone yet ask me any questions. I see a couple of people are watching already. So don't hesitate. Begin asking your questions, because if you have questions, chances are someone else may have exactly your questions. So I believe, it is my belief, that there are no stupid or irrelevant or not important questions. It doesn't exist. Every single question is very important, needs to be answered, because when you don't know the answer for anything in your life, it means that you are missing some very important information. Let me like the video so it would go to Facebook. Okay, I have the first question. Let me see. Okay, so here is the first question. I want to talk about non-speaking actions. Non-speech actions for me is forcing out the word. I'm trying hard to utter a word with no success. So that's a very good question, Praful. Yes, many people who stutter, and I'm assuming that you are a person who stutters, have a very irrational set of beliefs in their mind. They believe that when they cannot say a word, which requires speaking actions, they believe that if they do something that has nothing to do with speech, will somehow help them how to say a word. I have a good news for you. No, nothing but speech action will actually help you to say a word. This is why your question is kind of not really rational in terms of non-speaking actions. Of course, we do it when we don't know how to do it correctly. Just look at the child. I don't know, let's take any other skill that a child hasn't learned yet. Let's say a child doesn't know how to walk, okay? And he does all kinds of movements with his arms, with his head, with his whatever, because he doesn't know yet how to operate, how to use his legs. Legs are the only muscles we need, the only organs of our body this child needs to walk, nothing else. But he doesn't know that yet. And of course, he begins doing all kinds of other movements with all kinds of other non-walking parts of his body. Eventually, he figures it out, and next time, let's say he has learned it, and adults, we don't care about the movements of our arms or head or anything else. We just make sure that our legs do the right job, right? That we are using the right muscles of our body in the right way. So once again, non-speaking actions are actions that you actually need to eliminate. How? Very simple. And I'm going to give you a little piece of information which you may have, may not. Here is what I always keep in my drawer. When I work with my students, I simply explain the very simple truth. And this is reality that, unfortunately, we're just learning. In today's world, our consciousness is kind of going up, 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 higher, higher, and we're learning. You see this flashlight? This is who each of us is. We're just the beam of energy. Kind of like this is the best model, the flash of light, the ray of light, okay? So, and when we are focused, because this is the beam of focus, the beam of our attention, the beam of our consciousness, there are different names for the same thing. This is you, Raful. This is me. We all carry one of this, okay? We all are one of this, only one. And at the moment when we do things, believe it or not, we can focus only on one conscious action at one moment. I'm going to repeat it. One conscious action at one moment. When I am speaking, when everyone is speaking, this is a conscious action. Speech is a conscious action of the way we use our body-mind machine. So you are this guy, okay? And you are in charge of the device called body-mind. It's a new information in today's world. This is why it's so confusing for so many people. Some of them are even attempting to do ethanol investigation in their videos. It's very funny when I watch the video, I think yesterday, someone who is totally confused, and someone who is basically projecting his confusion. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm sorry to say that, but he does make an idiot out of himself. But once again, I'm saying the word idiot not to be mean, not to harm anybody, okay? I was an idiot myself when I worked as a speech and language therapist, because I didn't know. We all are idiots in this or that. Idiot means no adequate information. That's it. The mind is empty. We have too many lies that we believe. But back to this, okay? So if you hear me say the words idiot, stupid, fool, I really don't mean to harm anybody. I really don't. Just take your ego and throw it out of the window, okay? It's not about being right or wrong. This is about the truth that I happen to have access to. Okay? See? Okay. I thought it was Alex Jones. Okay. So once again, back to this. You are this one beam of consciousness. The moment you are focused on performing any of the non-speaking actions, you cannot speak. It is impossible, because we can focus on only one thing with 100% clarity. And consciousness, like high, very high percentage of consciousness, is clarity, 100% clarity. So we can do 100% correctly only what we know how to do it correctly with 100% accuracy. And when we are focused on doing it with 100% accuracy. I hope it makes sense to you. Each of us are one, which each of us is, I'm going to put it grammatically correct, okay? Each one of us is one consciousness beam of energy, beam of consciousness. And you can call it a attention focus. That's how people say it commonly. Attention focus, beam of consciousness. In our Etalon classroom, we call it a pointer. It's just a simple pointer. The way teachers use a pointer when they point to anything on the board, they say, okay, attention students, it means that they want everyone look at this point, at the end of my pointer, right now. Attention, every broadcast attendees, read this together with me. Okay, see, I cannot do it backwards. I have to turn because my pointer is not aligned correctly right now when I'm looking backwards, okay? So throw away all methods, techniques, tips, and tricks for your speech. At the end of my pointer, my attention beam, there were words that I wanted you to read. And you did, and I did, and it all became clear, right? So the bottom line is, when you are focused 100% on non-speaking actions, any of non-speaking actions, you believe they're good, you believe they're going to help you, but they will not help you. As a matter of fact, they are going to stop you from saying a word that, as you said, I want to talk about, no, wait a second. That it's hard for you. I'm trying hard to utter a word with no success because of that. Because you are doing something that has no relation to the normal, natural speech standard of uttering a word. So how do you deal with this problem? Very simple. You simply learn. What is the normal way of saying a word? What is it? Look around, look at other people. Do they do what you do? And you know, I've been in this profession now for 5 years. After 30 years of teaching non-speaking actions, I was teaching non-speaking actions. I was teaching these methods, techniques, tips, trips. This is how I know for 30 years. And now I am telling you with confidence, each and every method, tip, trick, technique, advice, how do they call it? Step. I don't know what else they call it. Technique to improve your speech is just a different form of stuttering. And by the way, non-speaking actions are also non-speaking actions are also technique that you have come up with. Maybe they taught you, maybe you have come up with this technique. And as I said, I've been in this speech education industry for 5 years, and I have seen so many techniques. It is not even funny. In the beginning, I laughed. Now I do not laugh because I want to cry. When I see people come to me and do all kinds of things that hurt them, that is so irrational. It's impossible to speak when they use those techniques, non-speech actions. Some people believe they need to move their eyebrows before they speak. Some people believe they need to blink before they say a word. Some people believe they need to move their head. Some believe they need to dance and push it out. There are so many beliefs. It's not funny. And unfortunately, speech therapists, once again, I'm one of them. I used to be one of them. No longer. I worked for 17 and a half years as a licensed speech therapist in Russia, not in the United States. In Russia, 17 and a half years. Okay? I worked in the special establishment for severely handicapped children with severe speech delays. Because this is how back in Russia we called people who stutter. Just general underdevelopment of speech. Okay? So, okay, I have another question. One second, I'm going to get to it. So the bottom line is you gotta learn how to act rationally. Okay? What is it that people do when they speak? Look at others and just stop doing what you are doing. Look at others and be like them. However, if you look at them and you still cannot figure it out, chances are you need a teacher. But the next step is up to you. You can go to someone who stutters himself and calls himself even a stuttering doctor or a stuttering coach who also has no clue what normal speech is, what the standard of normal speaking are. He doesn't know. All he does, he speculates. He gives you all this: methods, tips, tricks, techniques, advice, steps. You can go there. It probably will be cheaper. Yep. Maybe not. If you're going to continue doing one after another, it's going to be pretty expensive. It accumulates. But this is what I am here for. I am here to assist anyone who is willing to assist the development of the new industry. Because this is my belief, only together we can change this crazy world. Only together. I cannot do it on my own. I work, those of you who have been watching me, I work 24/7 for 5 years, no days off. Okay? But it's not enough. I need you guys. I need money. I need donations. We need money, money, and money to spread our message across the planet. Those who are willing to assist not just themselves, but millions of others, I welcome. I will delegate my time. All the time you want from me, it's gonna be yours. I will be with you as long as you want me. Usually it takes 3 days. But yeah, sometimes people do come back and they have additional questions. They come. Sometimes they get confused again because trash is everywhere. Incorrect information. Lies are everywhere. It's really not easy to stay away from trash. Everyone is offering you their method, technique, trip, advice. Everyone. So once again, this is my job that I'm really passionate about. I am giving the etalons of speech. Etalon stands for standard, natural standard. What do we do to speak? I give it to you. The rest is up to you. I give you the guidelines, what to do. I give you work. I give you work. And during 3 days, you become stutter-free, 100%. No exception. Unless you quit or you don't delegate as much time as it's needed, because it has happened in this way when people thought, okay, I'm done. And they wouldn't come to the 3rd day of the class, or they would get in accidents. And I mean, things happen in our world. And they come back to me only in a month or in 2 months. There are so many irrational things that people who stutter do. It is not funny. Okay, so Ahmed, hi Ahmed. When I'm alone, I haven't stuttered. But while talking to someone, stutter begins. Ahmed, here is the recommendation for you. I recommend you go and go to my website, www.live-stutter-free, L-I-V-E, Stutter-Free. Okay, live Stutter-Free. Go there. There is a huge section. It is called Frequently Asked Question. This question is there. Of course, I will answer it now, but it's kind of, after this question, I'm sure you will have another one, okay? So I recommend you go there, study my answers. As I said, I work around the clock, making information available, but I cannot come to you personally and open your ear, open your eyes, and begin talking to you and begin kind of pouring information in your ears. See, you are a rational person. You have come to me here. You're sitting, you're watching. I know you are. I see the number of people watching me. Good. This is a great start. But once again, I'm here, guys, to give you work. That's my job. I am going to say one very simple phrase. Your quality of your any speech, any skill, I'm jumping ahead. The quality of any skill you have learned to perform is the result of the work you have invested into performing this skill. Speech mastery, speech quality, speech mastery means high quality. Speech mastery is the result of your speech work, not mine. Your speech work. I'm going to repeat. Speech mastery is the result of your speech work. I'm here to give you this work so you wouldn't have to wonder, what am I supposed to do? Or observe others. How do they do that? And speculate about it. I will give you, maybe not if you don't choose to come to me. This is my job. I will give you exactly what work, speech work, you need to do in order to become a speech master in the shortest time possible. This is what I do. With me, it's only 3 days. In 3 days, everyone becomes stutter-free, which doesn't mean he's a speech master yet. No, it doesn't. Not making mistakes as frequently as people who stutter do doesn't mean that they become speech masters. The mastery depends on the number of repetitions, right? So repetitions are something that we do when we work. The more times we repeat throwing the ball in the basket, the better free throw shooters we become. More time we invest into, writing, the better, the more neat writers we become. But here is a very small thing that you need to understand. The action that you perform must be adequate. Adequate, correct. Because if you speak with a lot of mistakes, it doesn't matter how much you're going to be speaking, because the more you're making mistakes, the more you learn to make mistakes. You are what you do now. If you're practicing methods, tips, tricks, techniques, you're going to be good at stuttering, because these all are forms of stuttering. So you will be good at stuttering. You will be good at stuttering techniques, tips, tricks, and so on. So, yes, Ahmed, I see. Oh, that's the same question. So let me go to your question briefly, because if you want to learn more, please go to the website and begin your speech education. Speech self-education. Because before people come in our classroom, which is not for stupid people, That's how I put it. Okay, we're all kind of a little bit stupid, but not as much. Let me put it in the other way. This is not for irrational people. The ones who have read my books and still cannot figure it out. Can we trust Anna Deeter? Okay, move on, because people don't want to deal with those who don't understand even after they have heard it, after they have read about it. People don't want to deal with this kind of people. And the ones who want to figure it out by sitting at home, the truth, it's gonna take time for them to figure out the truth the hard way, okay? Because I honestly have blocked this specific individual from Skype. I am not delegating my free time to someone who is clearly publicly have said, I am not interested in the Etalon program. I'm not gonna take it. That's it. Go, you're on your own. And after that, that person, I just have to just blow it out because it just happened yesterday. And after that, that person said, hey, Etalon graduates, come to me. Who are you? Why do busy people, busy with their life, should come to you, a very irrational person, when I, Anna Deeter, the messenger of the truth, I taught him totally different. I taught him, get rid of all your stuttering contacts. Never come to any stutterers. Stutterers are no longer your friends. And when they come to some strange, see, I'm using politically correct words, okay, strange offers, because these offers involve my name. That's how they find out. And they also, of course, they immediately come to me. They ask, so what is this? Who is this guy? Why is he acting so irrationally? And I always tell them, you can write something if you want, but I wouldn't even deal with him. I blocked him on Skype. I tell them, I have blocked this person on Skype. He does not deserve the easy way, because Etalon is the easy way. He's gonna have to figure it out himself. He's gonna have to go the hard way. That's his choice. And God bless his heart, once again. I love you. I love you if you're watching Stuttering, whatever you call yourself, Stuttering Talk, I forgot. Because you already don't exist in my head, okay? There are so many people that do want to learn. But back to Ahmed's question. I apologize, Ahmed, that I went out. So yes, when we speak alone, we may be okay, because speaking is, it has the same standard algorithm, the same standard way of producing speech. But when we speak in different, we call it speech modes, okay? One mode is when we speak, for example, when we say short words, just single words, it's one mode. The other speech mode, when we speak and make presentation, it's a totally different mode. It's the same algorithm. We do it in the same exact way, but it's a different speech mode, because we do it in a little bit slightly kind of, we use the device called body, mind, machine in a little bit different way. We adjust our actions in a different way. So when you are speaking alone, Ahmed, you have done it probably many, many times, and you have learned how to operate your body, mind, machine in the rational way, okay? You have done it, which only confirms that there is nothing wrong with you, Ahmed. You are a normal, 100% normal human being who is simply confused. And this is what has been going on in the whole world today. People are confused. People are deceived. People are being scammed with the lies. Fraud. It's a fraud. The whole industry called speech and language pathology therapy, I wouldn't say it's a fraud, because people who work for this industry are genuine people. They really want to help, to assist others who stutter. Even those who attack me, I totally understand where they're coming from. Okay? So, once again, you have learned how to speak when you are on your own. Good for you. So, but there are other speech modes. I call it the public domination mode. Like when you have to be dominant, no matter where you are, you have to be dominant. You have to be like a lion in the jungle. Roar! When you roar, the whole jungle quiets down and listens to the lion, right? So what you're talking about is about the last lesson that we teach in the Etalon classroom, how to be a lion. That's how we teach. It's kind of, we call it neurotic type of stuttering, neurotic. When people can speak, they can, there's nothing wrong with them. But they are afraid to speak up, because when they were young, they have learned how to hide their emotions, how to hide their voice, how to hide from speaking and speaking situations. They have learned it when they were young, at a very young age. Of course, there are many, many other reasons. Reasons are unlimitless. I mean, it's just impossible to calculate all the reasons why. For what reason people all of a sudden, when they are young, stop speaking and start being afraid of speaking up. There are so many reasons, a lot. If I start, it's gonna be, I don't know, for 10 hours, only the reasons that I know. Okay, so once again, Ahmed, you simply need to learn. What is it that I need to do when I speak to others? It's the same, exactly the same natural speech standard that you are using when you speak alone. And also I want to mention that when people who stutter come to me first time and they tell me, oh, I'm such a good speaker when I'm alone, but when I give them the test and when they understand what normal speech is, they simply realize that even when they speak alone, they do make mistakes. They're not aware that they are making mistakes, because yeah, a lot of people do this. Even speech pathologists, even like those speech coaches, I'm not even talking about them because they call themselves stutterers, but there are a couple of speech pathologists that are getting their business online. By the way, I know one of them is a little bit more rational, at least than others. I'm not going to mention her name, but she is a little bit more rational. When she speaks, he makes mistakes all the time. And she is a stuttering coach, but she is not a stutterer. She doesn't consider herself a stutterer. She introduces people who stutter on her webinars. I'm not going to mention her name because there is nothing wrong with working so hard and assisting people who stutter. I adore people who are in the business. All I want from them is to come to me and join our efforts. Join our efforts, because believe it or not, stuttering is solved. You see this book? Stuttering is solved. Maybe not in the way that you guys have expected it to come to you. It's a weird way, but who knows? The universe does it in its ways. Okay, so Ahmed, you gotta learn how to perform speaking actions, standard speech actions in any situation, anytime. Not methods, techniques, tricks, but standard way. Okay, Michael. Hi, Michael. Hey, hi, Anna. I want to ask you what exactly you're teaching. You are teaching some king of exercises? You probably meant kind. No. Or it is only some acknowledge about the mistakes the stutterers are doing to avoid. Okay, very good question, Michael. Thank you. So now, it alone, it's really hard to talk about it alone without using the word method, because this is what people relate to. But in reality, the et alone is not a method. Okay? Et alone, I call it a program, and I call it a just speech gymnastics. It's the same when you go to the gym. What methods your personal trainer uses? What methods? He just explains to you what you need to do to grow this or that muscles, right? So your personal trainer gives you what? He gives you work. You mentioned the word exercises. I don't like the word exercises because it's kind of, you don't understand what it is. The stuttering coaches give you a lot of exercises, right? They give you breathing exercises. They give you relaxation exercises. I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, I do know why, because they don't know what else to do. But in terms of speech, it is extremely irrational. Speaking is the most natural function of your body. It's not even an action that you need to learn. It's a function. You were born with it. I've talked about it in so many videos. Speaking doesn't need any exercises. If you ask me about yogi breathing practices, yeah, they do it, but it's not for speaking. Yogi people, relaxation practices and breathing practices, they do exist for one simple reason: to get back in the now. Go back in the now, because this is the only reality we have. Okay, now. When you focus on breathing, you focus on the now. That's it. But for speech, when you begin doing all kinds of exercises, no matter what exercises, you begin to stutter. You become confused. The more you practice methods, tips, tricks, exercises, the more confused you become. So to answer your question, Michael, what is it exactly I teach? Short. I teach the natural speech standard actions. Standard. I haven't come up with them. It's not man-made actions. If you believe God, I can say that these are God-made actions. If you don't believe in God, I'll say this is a Mother Nature's created actions. I'm gonna go over a little bit so you could understand better. So I talked my Freedom Friday last time, I believe I talked about it, that we all have one body-mind machine. This is body-mind machine that we all are in charge of. Once again, you are this. You're not your body and mind. You're not. You're this. Okay? You are the beam of consciousness, which is in charge for the device. It's exactly the same way we are in charge for any device. Let's take cell phone or your computer. Okay? We all are in charge for this device. Look, I'm holding this device. Is it gonna work on its own? If I do not make a conscious decision to push this button, will it light up? Will it begin working? This is what I teach. I teach, okay, guys, in order to use this device, you need to push the button up. And guess what happens? Woohoo! It works. The difference between us, human beings, kind of body-mind machine that we're in charge of, is directly connected to you. Directly. You don't need to push any kind of buttons. You don't need any devices. You have the pointer. Pineal gland, I don't know if you guys know, this is your pointer. And you direct it exactly where you're supposed to focus on, what you're supposed to focus on. It's your conscious decision. So to make it short, you have a device called body, mind, machine. Yes, it's the most intelligent machine on the planet. They cannot come up with anything even close than human body, mind, machine. They can't. Artificial intelligence is failing all the time. They cannot create it yet. I don't know, maybe they will, but they haven't created it yet. So we humans are in charge for this device. And when we know how to use it, it works. It works, no problem. But when we don't know how to use it correctly, when we don't know how to operate any device, no matter what we do, we may begin shaking it. Hey, cell phone, wake up, wake up. We may try to blow on it, right? We may try to turn it upside down. We may try to put it here. We may try to put it here. It doesn't work. There is one standard way how to use this device. It is, guess what? Boom! It works. And then, boom, again. It works again. This is what I teach, Michael. I hope I explained it. And I hope if you have more questions, just ask. Yes, so let me see. And yes, of course, we do point to the mistakes. When a student comes to us, the first thing we do, we always begin with the questions. And if you watch my videos, believe it or not, I have already over 200 videos. Only on YouTube. I have videos somewhere else on YouTube, on RooTube. I'm everywhere, okay? As I said, I work around the clock. So when a student comes in our classroom, the first thing we ask is, what is your problem? And you guys know your problem, always do. And you come and tell the problem right away. And that's what we do. We jump on this problem. The first thing we do in the Ettalon classroom. Because if you have this problem, that's where the problem is. Okay? And we point to things that you misunderstand, that you do not really do correctly because there is a confusion in your mind. You believe lies. But what lie you believe, we don't know until you tell us. I do this. Why can't I do this? Let's see what you believe. Okay. So academic Roman Snishko is a natural, I wanted to see the word natural is sitting in my head, is an independent scientist in Russia. The word independent is a key word because the whole world is so confused. It is not funny. We are all confused. We are all fed up with lies. Enough. Enough. It's time to throw away all the tips, tricks, methods to the trash can of the past and clean up our mind, clear it up. So yes, when a student comes in the classroom, we point to his irrational beliefs, his incorrect beliefs, which always just puts a smile on the student's face because he realizes that he was acting extremely irrationally, okay? And we immediately jump into, okay, now just do it rationally, the way each and every person on the planet, when he speaks, does. And our students begin doing it, and stuttering disappears right away. Sometimes within first hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes it takes 4 hours. It depends how much trash information this specific student carries on his mind. So point to the irrational belief, clear up this belief with the correct belief, with the correct information, rational information, natural standard information. And just, I sit there and I observe how people are beginning to do their speech work. Once again, guys, there are no miracles in this world. I give my students some work to do. They work really hard for 3 days. Blah, 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 blah. And 3 days is usually enough. Okay? Yeah, but sometimes they do come back and they kind of, I give my time to anyone. If you still are confused, come back. I'll explain it again until you get it. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Because, as I mentioned in the beginning of today's broadcasting, lies are everywhere. Anywhere you go, there are lies, lies, lies. Don't believe anybody. And I even tell to people, don't believe me. Okay? Don't believe me. Go to the website. Go read my books and see it yourself. Does it make sense? If it doesn't, move on. Okay? There is nothing I can do. If it does, read more, study more, do more work. I cannot emphasize more. Speech mastery is the result of your work. Okay? So, Michael, I hope I answered your question entirely. If not, ask more questions. I really encourage everyone to ask questions because stupid questions do not exist. Not important questions do not exist. What is it that you want to learn? Making making YouTube investigation in the place where no one can answer your questions really. I'm not going to talk to anyone who is doing his own investigation on YouTube. You want to do investigation, come to me. And by the way, I did offer to this person a for free. I didn't charge anything, okay? I did offer to this specific individual to talk to me on Skype and record it and release it in the video. I trusted him, but he violated my trust. I am too trusty, but I'm learning how to kind of sort out who I can trust and who I cannot. I don't like when people twist things, when people misinterpret things, when people publish things that they have no idea what they're talking about. It's kind of not my way. My way is authentic way, by the way. Authenticity means you gain 100% proven information, proven not by someone else, but by you. I am convinced 100% that this is what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to release this information to the public. Otherwise, I'm going to make a fool of myself. I don't like making a fool of myself, and of course, nobody does. And also, when someone says that he doesn't have a bad word about opinions of others, I'm sorry, I am not into this individual. And none of the Ethelon graduates are going to invest any time into dealing with a person who doesn't give a F about them. Sorry. The end of the story. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions? I see that there are 4 people watching now. Okay, 4 still. There were 6, now 4. Okay, so you're still here. You're still live. If you don't have any questions, then I'm going to be just begin rambling, talking about my life, my stuff, and the questions that I have received during the week. Okay, so let's begin. No questions so far. Okay, so here it is. The very first question I have received during the week was, I actually partially answered this question. It was about the way I was explaining etalon some time ago. And you gotta understand, guys, that just like you are learning about etalon, I'm learning myself, because I am not the inventor of the program. I'm just the first successor. I have been learning it for 5 years. In the beginning, the words that I was explaining etalon, you gotta understand, I am interpreting it. I am translating it from Russian to English, and sometimes I wouldn't come up with the correct words. I mean, they were correct, but they were not precise. Let's put it this way. And as I learn more, I learn better words. I select better words. And the word that I used to use before was maybe too complicated for some of you. Okay? So I want to use this word because maybe not. Maybe it's my imagination. Just let me know, okay? So I got a question about the word. What does it mean? Algorithm of speech action. What does it mean, algorithm? And in the world of computers, many of you may know this word. Many of you may be familiar with this word, right? So I will kind of explain, what does it mean? Algorithm of correct, natural speech actions. Here it is. When we deal with computers, how many algorithms of using the same computer do we know? Let's say, see, I am a Mac user. Oops, that's my mouse in my hands. So, and by the way, when we use mouse, this is our pointer. This is our focused beam of attention that we simply, it goes through the mouse. It's just a little piece of information, how incredibly simple this is. When we use a computer, we move the mouse. This is our attention focus. This is our beam of consciousness. It just goes through our mouse, okay? So we're moving the mouse. How many algorithms do I need to know? That it goes like this, that it needs to go, I need to push it with my finger, right? I need to kind of go around and then point to some file, right? Push it with my finger and the file will open up, right? That's the algorithm of the correct actions. Are there other actions? Yeah, kind of on the computer, yeah, they have this, let's say, right? And you may just use some buttons on the keyboard. It may work also. These are, let's say, 2 algorithms of using the computer. 2. You can use a mouse, or you can use a keyboard, or now the third way, they have a touch board, right? The touch, when instead of the mouse, you're using your own finger. Okay, let's say 3 algorithms of using and operating our computer, right? And guess what? When we speak, there is only 1 algorithm of speaking. Only 1. That's what Mother Nature equipped us with. And when I say us, it means us, operators of the body, mind, machine. This is how we operate it. Body, mind, machine. We operate it according to the way we are born. So we have 1 algorithm of speaking. And this is what we teach. When our students come to the program, the Etalon Speech Gym, we simply explain how the algorithm works. What is the algorithm of using body, mind, machine is, and then people are simply, our students are simply beginning to use their body, mind, and machine in this way. Okay? In this specific way. So once again, no questions. I am not going to stay there. There are only 2 people watching now. So 2 people have dropped. I guess they were not interested in asking questions. So guys, I'm going to wait for, let's say, 2 more minutes. No questions. I'm going to wrap it up. Okay? Michael, Prafu, people who have asked questions, I encourage you to ask more questions so I would know what is it that you want to learn today. Okay? So back to the questions that I have received during the week. The question that I receive very often is why the Etalon program requires people to donate, wow, $6,000. It's a lot of money. I totally get it. It's a lot of money. And here is my answer. In the English language world, I am one person. One. Do you understand what it means? One. And I do not do anything else. I do not support myself with anything else but doing my work, spreading the Etalon message around the world. I don't do anything else. This is my mission. This is my work. So there are months when I don't have students and no one donates, but I still work. I work non-stop. I do a lot of work. In Russia, Academic Snishko has the flow of students. People come to him all the time because he's been active. He's been actively doing it for 25 years. Of course, he's well known. And speech therapists, speech pathologists there, no, they don't have speech pathologists in Russia. They have speech therapists only. They are afraid of him. They have attacked him on numerous occasions. They are afraid of him because there are too many people know about what he is doing thanks to internet. Okay, Michael, I see your question. Let's go. Anna, do you believe Etalon method is the only way to teach the speech standards? Yes. And the other ways are useless. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be putting my life to you guys. I wouldn't be spending my life doing what I am doing. Everyone is just, unfortunately, I don't know, don't ask me why. It happened this way that I am in the middle of this. I don't know. I wish maybe it didn't. I would have retired already. I am close to 60 years old. I want to retire, but I can't because I still haven't educated anyone to take my place. I'm waiting for this one person so I could retire. Okay? So once again, the system of stuttering cure has been established at the end of 19th century. Stuttering cure. It's a bogus. It's a man-made lie. Why was it made? I don't want to go to all these conspiracy theories because I know the truth. It's not a conspiracy theory. I know the truth is here. And I don't know, Michael, if you have read my book. I do recommend you do. Because this book will answer your question. Okay? So the data, the historical data that I have been into, I have been exposed to these facts because I am number one, a speech and language therapist with lots of experience for many, many years. And I am a speech and language service provider, speech teacher in this country, worked as a conventional speech teacher in this country for many, many years. And I also am able to read in Russian, like normal, okay, in Russian and English. So I was able to read the data in Russian and, oh God, it's so hot, in Russian and in English. And that's how I learned the truth. everyone who teaches you methods, tips, tricks, techniques, they all don't have this information. They don't. They all have been trained by the universities, professional schools, all kinds of society establishments, all kinds of organizations, all kinds of associations, stuttering associations. And once again, they all are good people, big-hearted people. They all want to do well, but they don't have the training to do it in the only one natural way, which is called etalon. Etalon standard. There are no other way we can speak, only one way. And anything that we people have come up with over 100 years, 120, it was first, the book was written in Russia about stuttering in 1889. Let me see, let me make sure that I'm not misleading you because I'm not the best with numbers. Here it is. You see in my book, this guy created stuttering in 1889. He made a fortune on creating it. He became a wealthy dude, okay? And this is the year when I call him a good genius, has figured it out what the lie was about. But read my book, okay? I'm not gonna talk about it. So when we know how to do it in one correct way and begin doing it, guess what? It works 100% correctly. Okay, this is why I don't believe, I know, I don't like the word believe, okay? I know 100% that the only way to get rid of stuttering, a lot of lies in your head, is, let me write it down, I'm gonna talk about lies in the head. Lies in head, okay? The only way to get rid of all lies in your head is to learn one standard way. How you're going to learn it is up to you. I am here only for those who want, I mean, I'm kind of not only, because of course, I have had reports of people who have invested in, for example, buying this book, okay, Speech is a Skill. And I have had reports when people have read my book and wrote to me, Anna, I got it. My speech has improved so much that I don't even need to take the course. They made my day. Thank you. I'm so happy you did. But not too many. Those were probably 1-2 messages. The rest of them, the ones who have read my book, they just simply come to me because it's easier. You just, okay, you have to come up with money. But once again, money is something that you can come up with. You just need to work. Go, you guys have strong bodies. I have had girls who would just even travel to a different country just to do the work, cleaning work, physical job. I know one of my graduates at least has done it. He traveled to some contractor work to Norway, and she worked there for a year, and she's collected everything she needed. It's very simple, okay? And in a year of hard work, number one, she's learned how to work hard, okay? Yes, she had a diploma, a master's degree in something like fancy schmancy, but she didn't mind. She got a job, physical job, cleaning houses. She made a lot of friends by doing this. She learned a lot, and she made money. What's wrong with that? And she became stutter-free in only 3 days. So if you are not into this, I am not going to convince you. I am here to make your life simple. Work, earn money, come to me, I'll work for you. As long as you need me. Usually it takes 3 days. Okay, here's another question. I apologize. Oh, wait a second. There are 2 questions. So here it is. Okay, I don't want to miss any questions because my eyes are not really good eyes. Okay. Diana, I recently contacted with one of your graduates. To be honest, your graduate said that etalon effect is temporary. He now stutters again. What am I supposed to do now? I don't know, Amir, who you contacted. I don't know. I can only take your word for that. If you gave me the name, I would probably kind of analyze and I would tell you more details. I don't know who that etalon graduate was. But it does happen, as I mentioned. Lies are everywhere. During the class, it was 100%. I did give him the work. Did he do the work? I don't know. I have no way to know because I teach on Skype. When people do come to me, I just check on them. I say, okay, what is your other question? I answer the question and they leave me happy. You got to understand what stuttering is. Stuttering is a confusion of the mind. This is what I wanted to talk about. Stuttering is the confusion of the mind. I have had, for example, one student who, of course, left the classroom 100% stutter-free. He was happy jumping up and down. He, like in a couple of days, he did the presentation. He texted me. He said, Anna, thank you so much. That was the first time I did a marvelous presentation. I was so good, blah, blah, blah. And then he didn't come to me. Number one, he stopped doing his work. After class, there is work. You have to do a lot of repetitions. You have to speak after the class. So once again, I give you work. You become stutter-free after a couple of hours. You understand what to do in speech. You understand what your speech work is. Okay? But whether you're going to do your work or not, it's out of my reach. I am telling you, you got to work. Not on figuring it out, how I'm going to do it, the way stutterers do. No. You got to do exactly what you learned in the class. And yes, it happens, not often, fortunately, that some students misunderstood something or forgot something. And when it happens, they come to me, back to me. That specific student I'm talking about, only one, he came not to me, he came to a stuttering coach. And that stuttering coach filled his mind back to with all kinds of lies. He completely screwed him up. Is it my fault? Is it my fault? I didn't do that. I didn't make that irrational decision. So I'm here to open your question. You gotta be rational. If you believe you are a rational person, then you're not gonna do it, right? You know how things happen. I mean, when a person has a lot of lies in his head, like, okay, let's take a homeless person. A homeless person, if you give him money, he's gonna go and buy, sometimes, not of course, all of them. He's gonna go and buy drugs. And he's gonna take drugs instead of buying food. That's what happens if this homeless person is a drug user. This is not what who I am working with. If a person has a question for the only source of information, it's here. This person must come back to me and I am available. I am available. I'm not hiding under the table. Come to me, ask questions. Okay? So if you don't understand something. So here it is. I don't know who that person was. The ones who come back to me, they don't have questions. I do request even a week, the next week consultations. I do request, this is the mandatory, a request. But some students don't come back in a week. What can I do? If they don't come back, I assume everything is great. I cannot run after everyone. You guys are adults, and I'm the only one, okay? I work with rational people, and I refer to their being rational. If you don't want to keep etalon, which is gold, you don't want to keep it, you stop speaking, you don't do your work, you will lose it. 100%. And the work is, look, watch my videos. The work is always the same. You got to learn words that you don't know yet, because this is the truth that I'm talking about. You don't know words. You don't know words. The words in your head are all broken apart thanks to our brave speech therapists who teach you to break words in parts, speak in syllables. Normal people do not break words in syllables. And when you do so, you break words in parts and you begin stuttering. So yes, the work is always the same. Learn words as one whole word, not in parts. And begin speaking, blah, 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 everywhere. If they don't do it, I tell them right away, you're gonna lose it. You gotta speak, you gotta speak. Okay, so I hope I answered the question, dear Amir. Okay, he, she now stutters again what I'm supposed to do. Okay, you retracted your message, Amir. Thank you. So you are a rational person, I can tell. Okay, Amir, what type of work do you give to your graduates? Is it something not practical, a method? See, once again, I kind of anticipated your question. No, there are no methods, guys. No methods. I give them work. Here it is again, the analogy. It works the best. Let's say you want to learn a foreign language. It's very close to speech, right? So that's why I'm going to use it. You want to learn foreign language. You come, I'm not home. Okay, so you come to a foreign language teacher, right? You don't go to a therapist. That's the first question. You don't go to a therapist. You don't expect someone to cure you from not knowing words in foreign language, right? So you come to a teacher, and what is it that the teacher does? He says, cell phone. Let's say you're learning English language, okay? Cell phone, repeat, cell phone. What is it? A pen, repeat, a pen. What is it? A book, repeat, a book. Good job. Now tell me, what is this? I don't remember. A pen. Oh, sorry, this is not a, is this a pen? No, this is a cell phone. Repeat, cell phone. Repeat again, cell phone. Good job. Now tell me, what is it? Cell phone. It's your work. I give work. I teach you what to do, how to use your device, body, mind, machine, how to use it. Their homework is always the same. Learn words, because even you think, when you think you know words, chances are many words are like breaking apart in your head. You remember those words taken apart. Every method, technique, tip, trick, everyone teaches you to break words. Everyone. They teach you to stretch words, to blend words, create something that doesn't really exist. We do not blend words. This is crazy. Normal. Speakers never blend words. Those that you hear blend, you hear it sounds like, for example, I just said, for example, it sounds like I blended those words. I did not. I did something that is natural. What it is, I cannot tell you here because I need to see, maybe you don't even have this problem, okay? It is so personal. We all have different mental programs in our mind. And Amir, I see that you are my guest in a second show, I believe, and I love it. I love that you keep learning. Very good. If you go to anyone, even who has already been a graduate, once again, some people learn faster, some slower. Do you understand that? For some people, it takes 2 hours, and I never see them, I never hear from them, they're done. I remember I had one student, he ran away from me in 2 days, he never came back. And I'm like, no, come back. Yeah, I didn't give you all the information. It was in the beginning. I was not sure why he ran away, but I know that he's doing marvelous because I kind of followed up with him and I said, please, if you have any questions, remember that you have 1 day of my work. I can give you as much work as you need, okay? And he just laughed. He said, ha, 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 I'm totally fine. So that was the response. But I also have had a student who I have been in communication for 3 years. One student, fortunately, one student. And I talked about him in my last Freedom Friday show. He's doing amazingly well now, but he didn't have speech at all. He was like on the ground, at the ground zero. He didn't know words. He stopped speaking at 3 years old. I couldn't do much. 3 days, no, it's impossible. So we all are different. Most of the time, it takes 3 days. Most of the time. But sometimes people do come back and ask questions. If this person decides to go somewhere else, there is nothing I can do about it. I am available, unless I'm dead. Hopefully not. Okay? So if I'm alive, if internet is still working, I'm available. Okay? So I'll give you one short story of my last graduate. It just came on my mind. He came back to me in a week, my mandatory Skype consultation after a week, and he was doing great. He was doing marvelous once again. And I told him, okay, if you ever have any questions, come to me, ask questions. The week has come by, the 2 weeks have come by. I mean, I think it's been like 3 weeks. And I just, randomly, because we are connected on Skype, I just wanted to see how he's doing. I was like, hey, what's up, guy? How are you doing? And he wrote to me, not really good. I'm like, what? Why don't you come to me? What is it not really good means? So, of course, he immediately came back to me, and we had about an hour conversation. And he ended up laughing at himself. And he ended up just telling back, okay, Anna, I got it. I'm going to do it. Okay, got it. He was totally irrational, okay? You've got to understand our head is filled with lies. And this is what we do. We give you guys work how to get rid of these lies. Lies and lies. Okay, so what type do you get? Okay, I've answered this question, Amir, right? If that work was practical, that would, sorry, my eyes. Okay, if that work was practical, that would do it, I guess. And it's not right to give you their names, but you can find them easily, even in Facebook. I was convinced until I met those people. I don't know who you met, and unfortunately, if they don't want to be, if they don't come to me, there is nothing I can do. So Amir, if you're gonna run after them, go. I'm not convincing you. I am here to convince everyone for whom it makes sense. And I've mentioned many times, if it doesn't make sense, if you want the whole world to be rational, unfortunately, it doesn't happen this way. Okay? So someone who is irrational, all I can do just to sit here and wait when they get enough of being irrational and come back to me. Not talking to you that they're still stuttering, which is not true. Of course, what I mean not true, they're still not doing it alone. That's what it is. They are not they're not acting in the etalon way. They're still shaking their phone. They're still maybe blowing in their phone. I don't know what they're doing, okay? So they are not doing it alone, because when you do use the device in the 100% way how Mother Nature created you, you are doing it alone. Okay? So Amir, there is nothing I can say anymore. If it doesn't make sense, you want to be irrational together with that irrational person, then be. What can I say? Okay? So I am here to work with those who are rational, who read books and understand books, who ask questions about themselves, not about others. Once again, others are not even close to you. They have their own lies, set of lies in their heads. What they believe is not what you believe. And once again, stuttering is something that doesn't exist. It's a fake, bogus disease that they invented at the end of 19th century. They put too many lies in the heads of young children, innocent children. And of course, innocent children believe. Amir, if you want to learn anything, you gotta ask not someone who's barely graduated from the class and don't even come back when they have a question. If they still don't have clarity in their mind. Come back to the source of information, which is here. Here, the source of information. That person didn't do it. Then that's his loss. Okay? So once again, if there are no questions, I'm going to begin wrapping it up. Amir, do you have any more questions? If you don't, then I'm done. Okay? So I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, lies in the head. I think I've covered it. So, hey guys, lots of love to you. I will see you next Friday. If you have questions about speech, stuttering, the natural algorithm of speech, don't hesitate, ask questions. I am here, I delegate 1 hour, I guess. I wish I did because it's been already almost an hour and a half. I delegate my free time. And I take this time away from writing, translating my book, which is written already and published for free in Russia. So I take away the time from my work on the book and from consulting my real students if they have real questions. I am giving it away for free. If you want to learn about speech, stuttering, the natural standard of speech, and why you have to throw away all methods, tips, tricks, techniques, all of them to the trash can of the past, I will see you next Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Also, let me know if this time is something that I need to adjust, because when I do so, some time zones are involved, the others not. So let me know if you want me to have another, maybe in the evening I can do. I used to do it, but I stopped because it's too much time. So if you want me to do it, I can do it around 5, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Then we're going to involve different time zones. And if what I am doing, my enlightening work that I am doing makes sense to you, share, share, and share with others who stutter, because I am not going to be able to change our crazy world on my own. I need your assistance. Believe me, what I do requires a lot of courage. I have had already death threats, believe it or not. It requires a lot of courage, but I don't care. I have not even a grain of fear. So, lots of love to you. I will see you next Friday. Bye-bye.